fam, what's good? What's good? Welcome back to another one. So now we will be covering a BOB, a bullish bearish order block. Right now, there's so many order blocks out there. This is one of them. Okay, and to me personally, this is the one that you will see much clearer. Okay, but don't stress. I will cover the rest, you know what, in the future whatsoever. So a BOB, bullish bearish order block, right? A BOB is simply an area of support or resistance on a lower time frame, right? So this is literally just a correction on a lower time frame, right? And this BOB will now serve as an area of support or resistance depending on, you know what, where you want to take price into. Okay, so what is an actual BOB? Now you want to find this pattern with the impulse of the market, right? So with a big move in the market, this is literally where you want to find yourself seeing your BOB form, right? So if I maybe can do the following for you guys. So if we have a bear market just like this, right? If we have a bear market just like this, your BOB you want to find inside your impulsive move just like that, right? Your impulsive move just like that. Because 9 times out of 10, the reason to why price is finding itself having some sort of a reversal is simply because price is tapping inside a BOB. It's tapping inside a order block just like that. Okay, so that is literally it when it comes down to an actual BOB. You know what? We have two methods when it comes to our actual BOBs. We can either look at it as, you know what, we're going to take a buying or selling opportunity from this actual BOB, or this could also serve as a magnet for us to take price in, right? So what is a magnet? A magnet is simply an untested area, right? A magnet is a untested area. So a magnet can literally be an untested area of support or resistance. You know what? It can also be an untested you know what, neckline of a double top double bottom formation, inverse, HNS whatsoever, right? So everything that is untested serves as a magnet. Okay, serves as a magnet. Now how does a BOB look like? And this is literally it, right? Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Okay, so if this is our impulsive move towards the downside, right, inside our impulsive move, what do we want to do? All we want to do is look for the odd candle in our impulsive move down, right? And here we can see that we do have our actual BOB, and the odd candle is literally this green candle right over there, right? So once you see this green candle, how are you going to box it out? You're going to box it out from the low of the wick to the high of the wick, right? So you are boxing out this whole candle, right? This whole candle you're gonna find yourself boxing out. Now, can you guys see once price find itself having a closure below this candle right there with this nice bear candle, right? Price never came back inside that region right there, right? So this area is serving as a magnet for price to find itself having an actual pushback into for a nice short towards the downside, right? So just like your areas of supply and demand, right? You have your actual box over here. Your box will literally be the whole candle. So all you're going to find yourself doing now is wait for price to pull back into your box. And this is where you're going to find yourself looking for some lovely, lovely short opportunities if your structure is bearish, right? Where's your stops? Your stops is always going to be above the box, right? So just like our supply and demand, there needs to be some way how this thing is going to be invalid, right? And it's going to be invalid if price is going to find itself having some sort of a push towards the upside and having a closure above with a body, right? Not with a wick, with a body. If price is having a closure above with an actual body, this pattern is simply invalid now. Okay, invalid. So keep your actual BOBs simple, because it is literally the easiest and simplest you know what, pattern you can find yourself identifying on the charts, right? Same thing when it comes down to our bullish market, right? As you guys can see over here, with price pushing towards the upside, we can see that the odd candle is literally this red one right over here, right? Box out the whole candle from the top of the wick to the low of the wick. Once price finds itself having a closure above, right? Once again, the closure needs to be above with a body, right? Not with a wick. The body needs to close above your actual candle, right? Just like we have over there. So here we can see price never came back for the retest. So all you're going to find yourself doing is literally just wait for price to pull back into your box. And this is where you're going to find yourself looking for some lovely, lovely long opportunities, right? Keep in mind, price can literally come all the way down here, have an actual shift all the way down to the tip of the box, and then have an actual shift, right? But if price is going to find itself having a closure below with a body, this candle or this formation is simply invalid, right? Keep it simple. Keep it simple. And that is literally it when it comes down to your actual BOBs, right? So just like the term is telling you guys, literally order block, it's blocking price to find itself having higher momentum, right? Over here. And over here, you know what? It's blocking price to have lower momentum over there, right? So let's dive into the charts and look at a few examples. All right, fam. So now let's look at a few BOBs, right? So I'm not going to find myself showing too many examples, right? Because you will see this on your daily breakdowns quite a lot. Right, I just want you guys to understand where to find it and you know what, how it will basically look like. So can you guys see with this impulsive move towards the upside over here, price literally found itself having a closure above right over there. And can you guys see how price literally came back for the retest, and there we had a lovely shift towards the upside, right? So the candle of, can you see this green candle over here? The body of it needs to close above, and this will literally activate our BOB, right? All we now wait for is the retest. There you guys can see, right, that the wick found itself coming below, but it didn't find itself having a closure below, right? So this still makes this BOB quite valid. And there we had an actual shift all the way towards the upside from this BOB, which is quite nice. That is around about 380 plus pips towards the upside, right? Over here with this downwards momentum, check this out. Bear, bull, bear, right? The moment price found itself having a closure below this actual BOB, check this out. If I maybe can do this right there, right? The moment we found ourselves having a closure below the BOB, look at what price did. Price came back for the retest inside your actual BOB, right? And their price found itself having a lovely shift towards the downside, right? What did we find ourselves creating over here? Here we found ourselves literally creating another actual BOB, right? Giving us an indication that we can have a continuation bearish trend. Right there we find ourselves literally coming back for the retest, and there we had an actual shift towards the downside, right? So your BOBs is quite significant areas inside your market. Look at that. There we had another actual BOB, right? Over here, another one, right? So check this out. Price literally came all the way up inside this actual BOB and had an actual shift towards the downside, right? Check this out. Price didn't find itself having a closure above, but yet, you know what, we found ourselves still had that actual shift towards the downside. So your BOBs is quite significant areas when it comes down to, you know what, your actual trading, right? So one thing you want to find yourself doing is literally just identify market structure, right? And you're going to use your BOBs to navigate price on, you know what, where you want to find yourself heading into. So if we are bullish in structure, right, you're going to wait for some sort of an actual pullback, and there that actual BOB will basically be a area of interest to where you want to look for some continuation longs, right? If you are bearish in structure, your BOB will serve as the magnet where you want to find yourself looking for some shorts for a continuation bear move, right? And that is how you're going to find yourself looking at your BOBs. I will see you guys in the next one. I'm out.